All right, darkness is the light at the end of the tunnel. Let's talk about it.
See, I've been falling all my life and people wonder why I'm down to earth.
This is Adversity University.
If you waiting for somebody to feel sorry for you, then you failed already.
Success is best to those who've been grounded first.
Cause ain't nobody gonna feel sorry for you.
Now what are you willing to do?
The only thing that separates a winner from a loser is perseverance.
And this is Adversity University. This is Adversity University. Coty Martin, aka Coty Motivation. I'm here with my brother, Lim Collins.
Lim Collins in the building.
Lim Collins in the building. The actor, artist,
I do a little bit of everything.
director,
Do a little bit of everything, man.
writer.
Uh-huh.
We want to talk a little bit about darkness and what that looked like. You know, me as a psychotherapist, as a clarity coach, as a person that lived life with a whole lot of adversity. I think it's important that we touch on this topic. Not only just touch on this topic from that perspective, but Lim and I are huge fans of Eminem. Right? And I do. Well, Lim actually, you know, when Lim sat down, Lim said, "Listen, man, Em just dropped a video called Darkness, and we have to talk about this dark. I just want you to see it."
Yeah.
And when he showed me this video, it touched on some things that I think we definitely need to talk about, things that we definitely need to, you know, address. And when we talk about darkness, so darkness, what does darkness look like to you, Lim?
Darkness, man. Darkness is when you go somewhere in your mind. It's really a mental state.
It's definitely a
You know
mental
what I'm
state.
saying?
Yeah.
You know, I have a painting, and I'm gonna have to show it to you, bro. It's a painting where it's darkness all around. Is the painting? The whole painting is black, but I got a lot of different details within that. But standing alone, and it's like a dark room, but standing alone in that room is bright, beautiful flowers. Just to show you, you know what I'm saying? No matter how dark it is, the flowers are still beautiful. The flowers are still bright. The flowers are still vibrant. But it's only what you see. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And darkness is just a state of mind.
It's a state of mind. And see, when I like to talk about darkness because I mention this a lot in conversation and speaking engagements and anything dealing with darkness, in actual sessions and dealing with people, because a lot of people are stuck in darkness. And I know for a certain period of time I was myself, so I can speak on this a lot. And darkness to me, coming from a therapeutic perspective, it got a lot to deal with depression. I always mention a lot of people dealing with depression, but a lot of people don't know it. They don't know it. They don't know the signs. They don't know the symptoms. They don't know that. But what they do know is this dark cloud
Hovers above them.
constantly hovers above them, and any and everything that's present, you know what I mean, it affects them. It affects them, and they can't see that light. So when I talk to people, I'm always telling them, look, man, like you right now, I know it's dark, but there's always light at the end of the tunnel. Right now, you're just stuck in the tunnel right now. It's dark. You can't see. You don't know which way to go.
Right.
But as long as you keep your feet moving and you keep going, it's going to be light at the end of that tunnel. It's going to brighten up.
It has to.
And the days going to get better.
It has to.
Yes, definitely.
I use these flowers in my artwork just to represent us, like represent people with flowers.
Yeah.
In order for a seed to grow, you got to bury it in darkness.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying?
Facts.
In order for a flower to grow, it got to have rain and sun.
Yep.
So basically, the darkness that we go through pretty much creates who we are. It builds character. All of that, man. But a lot of times people live in that darkness within their mind, and if they living in that darkness, they tend to think about it all day, talk about it with others, create a vicious cycle of what word I'm looking for? A vicious cycle of just negativity. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And if you living in that, you're gonna always get that. You're gonna attract it. You know what I'm saying? That's just the worst thing you can do is just live in that darkness. I look at it like this. I tell people all the time like that darkness is like a cocoon for a butterfly.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? You know, the caterpillar, he don't really know why he's spinning a cocoon.
Exactly.
He don't even know why he about to go into this dark place.
Exactly.
But then when he come out of it, after he's endured it, after he's been in there for so long, he breaks out of it, and now he got wings.
He's a butterfly.
Now he's flying. Now he's the most beautiful thing flying around. It's like, damn, he had to go through that though.
You gotta go through that.
He had to go through it.
Like I just did a episode, actually episode 5, talking about embracing adversity and the things that you go through. And at the end of the day, it's the darkness. That darkness that you go through. It's the trouble. It's the hardships of life. It's the struggle. It's everything that you go through. It's all the negativity. It's the hurt. It's the pain. It's all that stuff. But at the end of the day, you got to understand that this is the stuff that you got to grow through. You got to go through it so you can grow through it.
Grow through it.
And you can get those wings. You can become that butterfly and spread those wings and fly. Exactly. So I like to tell people, like, it's at the end of the day, it's on you. Like, you have to understand, like, man, these losses, and they are actually lessons that you got to grow through to understand that, okay, this is how I get to the next level. If it was easy, everybody would be doing it. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. Everybody want to be successful, but don't nobody want to go through nothing.
Exactly.
You know?
Exactly.
And it's like, just, you know, when we speak to darkness, it's like, okay, well, you know, what do you do? Yeah. In the midst of the darkness. Yeah. Like, who do you talk to? Yeah. Like, how do you communicate? Yeah.
You know what I think, bro? This is what I say. You can talk to a lot of people, but you need, when you in darkness, you got to understand how to talk to yourself. Exactly. You got to understand how you talk to yourself, and you got to, what you got to do, you got to put everything that you thought you were going to be, or everything that you thought was going to be, you got to throw all that away. Yeah. You got to put all that to the side, because I tell people all the time, the number one route to depression is failed expectations.
Oh my God, you have to manage those expectations.
Listen, if you expecting, if you tell yourself, you know, especially women, they do this a lot. I'm going to be married to my Prince Charming by the time I'm 25. Oh, man. By the time they 25, they not married to Prince Charming. By the time they hit 30, they still not married to Prince Charming. And guess what? They pressed. Yeah. It's failure. Yeah. You know what I mean? Saying, like, the number one cause of depression is failed expectations. That's it. If I'm expecting to make, you know, $1 million this year, and then at the end of the year, I don't make $1 million, and I'm like, you know what I'm saying? I done did all this work. Yeah. Now I'm fucking mad for no reason. Exactly. I ain't mean to cuss.
Nah, that's all good.
Yes, but like now I'm pissed. I'm mad, and now you causing all this stress for what? Now you need to sit back and talk to yourself and be like, realistically, why didn't I make $1 million? You know what I mean?
That's important, man. You got to manage your expectations. That will definitely
help.
It'll definitely help, man, because we all have certain expectations, and if we don't meet those expectations, we don't feel like we're successful. But we might be successful in a whole lot of other areas, but we have this actual goal, so-called goal that we set, and we didn't accomplish that. But what about the other things that you accomplished in life?
I'm gonna tell you something, man. I told you before we started recording, 2019 was my best year. It was a great year. Yeah, man. I accomplished so much in 2019. Yeah. But what's funny about that, everything that I accomplished in 2019 was nothing that was nothing. None of it was a goal that I set. The goals that I set, I didn't even accomplish. No. Other stuff happened. But other stuff happened that made my year great. But so if I would have just held on to all of that stuff that I wanted to happen, I'll probably be miserable right now. But I just let life happen, and it ended up being the best year of my life.
You know what's crazy about that is like my life is identical to what you just said. Yeah. 2019 has been one of the best years for me thus far. And certain goals that I had in certain areas, I did not accomplish at all. Yeah. I mean, at all. Yeah. So people living in darkness was considered that failure, right? Exactly. But on the flip side of that, the things that I actually excelled in, first of all, they were all new to me. Yeah. Everything was all new to me, man. Yeah. And it's just like I excelled. And I mean, even coming from a professional standpoint, from a monetary standpoint, I excelled.
In everything.
In everything. Yeah. So it's like now I'm building on top of what I did from 2019.
Yeah.
So I know what 2020 is about to look like. But at the same time, if I don't accomplish the things that I set out to accomplish, I know that I'm a success.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I understand that because let me tell you, even outside of just monetary expectations or professional expectations, you know what's most important to me right now?
What?
My family.
Yeah.
Man, listen, I have goals and aspirations to get stronger. I need to be a better husband, a better father, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And, communicate better. Understand that my walk is not my walk by myself.
Right.
I have a partner.
Yep.
I have 2 little daughters that's looking up to me. And at the end of the day, if I fall, they fall.
Exactly.
I got to take my health more serious.
Yep. Got to.
You understand what I'm saying, man?
Because if you don't, think about it, if you lose sight of your priorities, that's when you find yourself in that darkness. You find it in your dark place because sometimes we put so much focus on our expectations.
That's expectation, and we ignore the things that's really
important.
Exactly.
And it's like this right here. I could sit in my office and write 1 million scripts. I can sit in my studio and paint 1 million paintings, and still don't create that one piece that makes me happy. When I got a family in a house full of people that love me, if I just spent that time with them and you know what I'm saying, divided it up, you know what I mean, and you know what I mean, just like you gotta, like you said, you gotta manage your expectations, you gotta and manage your life and figure out what's important and what's not.
So that's crazy that you said that, because me and you, we similar. We Libras, man. We've been the same, since college, man. We've been. Our life has kind of been parallel. You got nothing but daughters. I got nothing but daughters. And one thing I realized about that situation, you've always been in the entertainment and busy. I always been in entertainment and busy, and we always focus on certain goals and aspirations. One thing that I realized, and I was checked on, man, and I was checked by Dr. Alvin Sutherland, man, Alvin Sutherland Jr., and he's actually one of my mentors and a good friend. He sat down and told me, actually, when I first met him, he was asking me, like, what do I do? And I was explaining to him what I do. I got this business, that business, I got that foundation, I got this going on, I got that going on. And he's sitting there, he looking at me like this, right? He looking at me.
And focus.
He got up after I explained all the stuff that I do. He got up. Then he said a word to me. Walked into his office. Came back to the conference room where we were sitting at. He had a pad and a marker. Damn. He had a pad and a marker. He had a pad and a marker. And when he left out that conference room, and he went to, when he went to his office and came back and had that pad and that marker. He slid in front of me, and he told me to write down the number 168. So I wrote down the number 168. So he said, okay, write down like what your week looked like. How much time do you spend on all these businesses you say you have? I wrote it down. How much time do you spend with yourself? I wrote it down. How much time do you spend with your daughters? How much time do you spend with your wife? How much time do you spend with your family as a whole? And as I broke these numbers down, the numbers was over 168. So he said, you know what 168 is? I was like, nah, what is it? He said 168 is the amount of hours in a week that everybody have. So I'm sitting there looking. So he said, yeah, the 168 is the amount of hours that everybody have in a week. I'm sitting there like, damn. I look, I realize, okay, for one, he just checked me. He just checked me without even saying nothing to me, for real. For two, I realized, okay, well, I'm putting way too much focus on all this stuff that I got going on. I looked at the number of hours that I was spending in business. I was looking at the hours I was, leisure, sleeping, eating, all this stuff. And everything had way more numbers to it than the number spent with my family. The number spent with my daughters by themselves. The number spent with my wife by themselves.
They didn't get much time from me.
They didn't get much time. The time was spent with me trying to hit all these numbers and hit all these, focus on these businesses and things like that that's going on. And it's like, okay, well, I need to manage my time, number one. and I need to manage my expectations.
Yeah.
How can you expect somebody to give you their all if you're not giving them your all?
Exactly.
You know.
Exactly.
And secondly, bro, it's like
that's real.
we all came up a certain way.
Yeah.
I grew up in a single parent household.
Mm-hmm.
You know, no father was there.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and that was something that I always wanted.
Right.
So if that's something that I always wanted, why am I not giving that to my daughters?
There you go.
You understand what I'm saying?
And that's the thing about me, man. My dad wasn't there for me either. You know what I mean? So I told myself, man, I can't do that to my kids what was done to me.
No.
You know what I'm saying?
No.
So
yeah, man. So it's just like, you know, if you look at all that stuff, and I said all that about just the, you know, the time management and things like that, because we have to manage our expectations. Not only in just business, in life.
In life.
Like, what do you expect out of everybody else?
Right.
You gotta, you know, what you give is what you get back.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And that it come from you.
Yeah.
You know?
That's real.
So you gotta create that light that you actually want to see.
That's real. Yeah.
And that's how you avoid the darkness. I mean, you have certain things in life that happens, like, you know, specifically for me, my major moment of darkness, bro, was in 2010 when my mom died.
Yeah, I can't even imagine that, man.
I mean, it was just like,
wow.
At that point, I couldn't even talk about it.
Yeah, ooh, I don't even want to think about that, bro.
Man,
that's
you know,
crazy.
It's crazy, bro, because it's different when a parent die and they're sick.
Yeah.
But when they snatched away from you
Yeah.
in a car accident,
Yeah.
like my mom died in a car accident and she was snatched away from me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Actually headed up to come see us. We
Yeah.
had a family reunion.
That's crazy.
You know what I'm saying?
That's crazy.
So it's
I
like,
can imagine.
right? So you create this certain level of darkness, and anything can go any way. You know,
Yeah.
it put me back in the mind of the Eminem video.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
You just darkness. I don't want to live alone in darkness.
Yeah.
And it's like, bro, you get to a point where you're going through all these different levels of grief, and going through these different levels of grief, any and everything will push your buttons.
Yeah. And living in that darkness can turn you into a toxic person.
Yes, sir.
Because like what he said, I don't want to live alone in this darkness.
Yeah.
I want to bring some other people into this darkness.
Right.
Instead of thinking I need to go to the light.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That darkness will hold you down.
Yeah.
It'll bring you down, man, and it'll make you, like I said, it'll make you toxic. It'll ruin relationships.
It'll ruin relationships.
In any relationship.
Yeah.
You know, with your kids, with your wife, with your family members, everybody, your job, co-workers.
Yeah.
That toxic darkness, man, will ruin relationships. If you don't know how to get out of it, you know, darkness also, you know, it leads to like anxiety.
Yes, sir.
Anxiety attacks, depression, all kind of mental disorders.
Oh yeah,
man.
definitely.
Bipolarism.
Facts.
All of that. You know what I'm
Definitely.
saying?
And it's important to communicate, because the thing is, like, I'm always saying, pressure bust pipes. And then holding all that stuff in and not being able to release that, man, it is dangerous.
So what's your advice to a person that's living in darkness and constantly having anxiety attacks and stuff? Because I know I've told people that came to me and asked, and I was like, you need to, you know, practice grounding. You know what I'm saying? You know, when you have an anxiety attack, grounding is, you know what I'm saying, paying attention to the things that surround you and seeing how, you know, everything is okay. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know, just to kind of take your mind away from all the negative thoughts that you can tell yourself anything.
Right.
Like right now, I could choose to say, you know, I'm good. I'm in a good place, and when I leave here, I'm gonna go home. You know, so I'm gonna go to sleep. I'm gonna have a great night. I could say that, or I could believe in my mind. You know, when I leave here, man, I gotta be careful, cause man, my steering wheel's a little loose, man. I'm tires I need changing, man. So truck can run me over. I can die on my way home.
Exactly. So
you gotta control those.
You have to control those thoughts. See, the thing about it is that darkness, it creates negativity. it creates nothing but negativity.
Nothing but negativity.
So it's like when you know that, so you got, first of all, you got to be able to self-reflect enough to really understand that you're going through that.
You got to be aware.
So once you're aware, you definitely got to have that level of self-awareness. And once you're aware of that, you got to, you know, channel those thoughts and emotions to a more positive light. Understand that it's the negativity, it's the darkness, it's the depression, it's that, it's the devil at the end of the day that's guiding those thoughts to allow you to be negative, and you will become that toxic person if you don't control that. You know what I'm saying? So, so like the advice that I give somebody that's living in darkness and that's controlled by negativity is to fight against that. First of all, you got to sit, you got to be still. You got to be still and understand that, okay, well, right now I'm not in the right mind frame, so I have to kind of sit to myself. I encourage people to meditate.
Meditation is key.
I encourage people to meditate. I encourage people to journal. Believe it or not. Like, bro, I got... When I'm in my feelings, I sit here and write. I write in this journal because it's like once you start to write down your feelings and your emotions,
you start to process it.
You can process it better. You can read it. You can read it and you can kind of understand what you're going through. And if you're a realist, you can say, okay, well, I'm tripping.
And speaking of Eminem, that's what he say he do. He write. You know what I'm saying? When he feel like he's cornered or backed into a wall, he write.
You got to write.
You know what I mean? And one thing I will say too, man, one thing that helped me is, you know, I sit back and I talk to myself, you know, and I be real. Like, you gotta be 100% real. Like, you gotta be 100%. Don't go off of this. Like, people have this false sense of entitlement. And they take things personal. So if you taking things personal, you can be mad at a person for no reason. And that's selfish. Because you know, it could be times like if I wanted to take things personal, I could say, man, I haven't heard from Wood. Man, Wood don't call me. That's selfish. It's selfish. Because it's like, why I'm not thinking about what Wood got going on. He busy. But sometimes, you know, people got this false sense of entitlement, like, I'm me and this person should call me. I'm me, but no, be real with yourself, though. Nobody owes you anything. Nothing. This world don't owe you anything. Nobody owes you nothing. So once you get that through your head and you realize, okay, the world don't owe me nothing. I got to get up and earn everything I get, and you know I can't be taking everything so personal. You won't be mad at everybody. You won't be mad at the world. You gonna get out. You gonna get out and get it.
It's empathy, bro. It's empathy. You gotta have the ability to put yourself in somebody else's shoes. You know, if don't nobody react the way you react to them. It's not personal. It's not personal. You got to think about the things that other people have in life. You don't know what just went on in this person's life. You don't know this person might have lost a job or lost a loved one, or you know what I mean. They're going through some personal stuff. You don't know what they might have health issues. You have no clue what somebody got going on. Especially if you don't reach out and even try to figure out what's going on with this person. You have no right to get mad at somebody for doing something that you expect them to do. And especially if you're not doing the same thing.
Everything, man, is cause and effect in how you react.
That's it.
You know what I'm saying? Like for instance, I run into people all the time, you know, and they might snap on me, have a bad attitude, and I can respond that same way. But why? I could be like, you know what, you didn't have to speak to me that way. You know what I'm saying? Like, we both adults. You know, I respect you. You respect me. That's all I ask. You know what I'm saying? They might even, you know what, I'm sorry, I'm having a bad day. I apologize. You know what? Let's start over. You know what I'm saying? And then you done calm the whole situation. And you know what I mean? You gotta diffuse it. You just gotta think other people might be going through some stuff.
I'm gonna be honest, man. God's still working on me. I mean, in a professional environment, I can handle it.
Yeah.
But in a personal environment, sometimes I'm hot and I'm cold.
You're a bull, dog. You just find out your moon sign is a Taurus. You can't help it. That's just who you are.
I'm hot and I'm cold, and it's like, okay, I know better, but it's like, you gotta catch me in the right mood.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because if you catch me in the wrong mood, you just might get this old Coty.
Yeah.
You don't want this old Coty.
Exactly.
You understand? You might come bring it back. Let's get to this new Coty.
Yeah.
Because that's the one who's working on himself.
Yeah.
And that's
Facts.
that's the author of Passport to Life.
There you go. There you go, dog.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. But you done got to the point now you understand who you are.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You understand you done walk through that darkness. And you
Yeah.
understand, what you also got to understand is that just because you done made it to that through that light, when you traveling, you gonna go through a couple tunnels.
Oh yeah, you definitely gonna get.
There's gonna be some more tunnels.
Yeah, it's not over when it's over.
Yeah,
it's expected to come back again.
Yeah, it's gonna come back, but when it does, you gonna be prepared for it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, man, like, you know, I just tell people, man, like, don't be so prideful to where you can't ask for help. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And don't be in denial about your situation. Like, sometimes people they be in denial about their mental health. You know what I'm saying? People sit around and have suicidal thoughts all day.
All day.
And they just go on by their life like it's normal. That's not normal.
It's pride and ego.
Pride and ego.
You won't allow them to speak up.
You won't allow them to speak up, bro. Mm-hmm. And they feel ashamed.
Yeah.
Don't even think about it, bro.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, man, pride and ego is another thing that can drive you into that darkness. Because it's just
pride and ego.
Pride and ego.
Definitely.
You know, foolish pride.
Foolish pride.
I say that because it's okay to be proud and carry this pride about who you are, but foolish pride is ignorant. You know what I'm saying? And some people just don't know how to get past that. Just like I said earlier, it's all about being real with yourself. You gotta be real with yourself.
Because you can't be real with nobody else if you're not real with yourself.
Yeah.
That is big facts, man.
That's facts.
That is
Look,
big facts.
Don't walk around acting like you can, you know what I'm saying? If you 5'2", don't walk around like you 6'7". You know that ain't you.
Right. You better sit down somewhere, boy.
You know that ain't you. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't go up and act like you about to just dunk on Shaq when you know you can't.
Exactly.
You know, because you're going to get your feelings hurt every time.
Get your feelings hurt every single time.
You got to know you.
Manage your expectations.
You got to know you. Don't be mad. You know what I mean? Don't be bad.
Yeah, you can't
Manage
be
yourself.
mad.
Look, if like the saying, if you judge a fish by its ability to climb a tree, that fish would be thinking that the fish would be thinking he's not worthy. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Fish ain't supposed to climb a tree.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So now if you tell the fish, you dumb because you can't even climb a tree. Now this fish feeling stupid because it can't climb a tree. Now we wasn't built for that.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? You got to know your limitations.
Exactly.
You got to know what you can do.
Exactly.
And you got to live in your truth.
You got to live in your truth. That's it.
That's it.
Walk, stay
because
in your lane.
When you start trying to be somebody else and you live in somebody else's shoes and comparing yourself to others, that's when you create that opening for darkness to come in.
It's crazy because me and my partner Demetrius, we was talking about that last episode of the podcast, bro, and we was talking about just like things like social media, which create a certain level of anxiety and depression because you got these people comparing themselves to everybody else and not living in their truth. Yeah, like your time is your time. What you do is what you do. You can't.
Everybody's different, man.
And right. And then even on social media, like everybody's simply highlighting the highlights of their life.
Don't nobody post the bad stuff.
They don't.
And that's what people don't get because they'll see their classmates. You know, I see people on Facebook posting, you know, all this great stuff, but nobody posts. You know what I'm saying? If you see somebody post, you know, something bad every now and then, such and such, you know, I lost my grandfather and now I'm sad, you know. You know, a lot of times people be wanting attention. You know what I mean?
Attention seeking.
I mean, I'm the type of person, I stay off social media. You know what I'm saying? I post professional business stuff and little stuff every now and then, but man, that social media be driving people crazy.
It's something else, man.
Judging.
I mean, wow.
This one got to the point, Instagram has made it so that you can't see other people's likes because other people are killing themselves because they not getting as many likes as Beyonce. Man, you're not Beyonce.
Right. Bro,
why you comparing yourself?
You got people that have relationships that's falling out with their spouse or their loved ones or whoever because they're not liking pictures.
They're not posting pictures.
Like, who gives a damn?
Right. It's like, you didn't post me as your woman crush.
Like, who cares?
You didn't post me as your man crush. Why is this an issue, though? You know what I'm saying? Why is this an issue?
Who are you doing this for? You doing this for us or you doing this for everybody else?
Yeah, exactly.
Like, what is this?
People create their own madness, man.
Yeah.
And sometimes you just need to sit back and relax. And one thing I realized that, go back to kind of a little bit what I was saying earlier, I came into this world by myself, dog.
Mm-hmm.
Came into this earth by myself. And don't nobody love me like I love me.
Exactly.
And you gotta be that way. You know what I'm saying? Now, you will be fortunate to meet good people, you know what I'm saying, in your life, that people care about you and people look out for you and stuff. But at the end of the day, you always gotta put yourself first. Yep. Even, like, of course, when you raising kids, you gotta put your kids first.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
definitely.
But at the end of the day, they gonna leave. Especially when you have daughters, they gonna leave and change their name.
Exactly.
And then it's just you now again. By yourself.
Oh, man.
You know what I'm saying?
Oh, man.
You don't think about it, but at the end
true.
of the day, it's you here by yourself.
That's it.
You know what I mean?
At
the end of the day, you can be married, but one morning she can wake up and say, I'm gone.
Yeah.
And it's just you.
It's just you.
And she can take the kids.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Wow.
You don't think about that like that, but at the end of the day, you came to this world by yourself. So you got to take care of yourself.
Right.
First and foremost, man, you got to worry about your own brain.
Definitely.
And you take care of you, then you can take care of everybody else.
Take care of everybody else.
You ain't got to worry about waking up and she done changed her mind and the kids gone. You know what I'm saying? You ever got to worry about that. You handling you.
It's crazy, man, when you just mentioned take care of you and you can take care of everybody else, bro. Because I spend a lot of time, like, just focusing on work, focusing on business, focusing on the bag, right?
Mm-hmm.
Focusing on work, focusing on business, focusing on the bag. That's all I be focusing on. I mean, I do make it a priority to spend time with my family, but at the same time, I make it even more priority to make sure that the bag is coming in, so I can provide a life that I set out to provide for them. Recently, bro, I had a little a health scare, man. I'm talking about a real deal health scare. And I woke up, like 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning. I was dizzy, I was delirious, head hurting, my heart pounding out my chest.
That's crazy.
I was weak, and I checked my blood pressure and it shot through the roof. It was sky high, and I couldn't get it controlled. And I spent that day trying to get it under control, and it didn't. And then that later on in that night, it shot right back up.
Damn.
So I had to rush to the emergency room.
Man.
Turns out they was thinking I was having a heart attack or a stroke. And it was like, okay, this put things in perspective. Right at that moment, bro, because I remember when I got back home, I was laying down, I was weak, and my daughter Tristan came to try to, play with me, and I was so weak and out of it, bro, I couldn't even interact with my daughter.
That's tough.
Bro, that right there did it for me.
That's tough.
Immediately, bro, I had to keep going to all these doctor's appointments, running tests, and doing things like that. And we still trying to figure out what they ruled out stroke, heart attack, blood clots. They ruled out anything that's life threatening. At the end of the day, in my mind, outside of a professional doctor's opinion, it's a whole lot of added stress of just the things that's going on in the outside world that I have no control over.
Yep.
But I wasn't taking my health serious. I'm eating anything that I want to eat. You know what I'm saying? I'm not working out. I ain't exercising as hard. And it kind of put it in my mind like, okay, well, you doing all this, you focusing on work, business, and the bag. Work, business, and the bag.
Yeah.
But you ain't focusing on you. When you stop, everything stop.
That's it, bro.
So at what point are you gonna take your health serious to make sure that that your family will be good, that you healthy enough to focus on the work, the business, and the bag. You know what I'm saying? What I'm saying? So it's like at that moment, bro, I made a conscious decision and a conscious effort, period, to make sure that I'm doing right. Yeah. I'm doing right by my health. I'm doing right by my family, so that I can do the things that's gonna provide for them.
Yo, you gotta put yourself first when it comes to that, dog. Because if you ain't here, bro.
Like what you working so hard for?
What you working so hard for, can't even enjoy the fruits of your labor.
Nah, man.
You know what I mean? So you gotta prioritize it, man.
Yeah.
And that's the main thing, man. Prioritizing and keeping your what we say, keeping everything in check. You know what I'm saying? Manage your expectations. There you go. Manage your expectations.
Manage your expectations.
You can manage your expectations. That'll save a lot of mental illness, a lot of mental stress, because you ain't expecting it. Yeah. I know one thing right here, dog. If I'm expecting $100. And then you come in here and give me 20, I'm gonna be disappointed. Exactly. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But if I ain't expecting anything, you come in here and give me 20, you come in here and give me $5, I'm gonna be like, yo,
appreciate it.
I'm gonna give you a sandwich or something.
Right.
I wasn't expecting it.
Exactly. Yeah.
You gotta manage your expectations.
You gotta manage your expectations, man. It's just life, man, and you gotta understand that, we control. I like to say it like this: we are the thermostat. Mm-hmm. We control relationships. Mm-hmm. We control our mindset. Mm-hmm. We control if we hot or cold. Mm-hmm. So I encourage everybody under the sound of my voice to act as such. You are the thermostat in your relationship, in your business, at your job, or whatever it is.
You control the temperature.
You control the temperature.
Yep.
So it all falls on you. You can't blame nobody else if you're the thermostat in the situation. Mm-hmm. You control that. You adjust it to where it needs to be adjusted to, so that you can be healthy, both physically and mentally.
Yep.
Yep. So mental health, man, at the end of the day, is very important. Mm-hmm. That would be a great conclusion, right?
Yeah.
Mental health is very important. I encourage everybody to seek counseling.
Yeah.
You know what I decided to do as a counselor, psychotherapist? I decided that what I'm going to do is simply go talk to somebody.
Yeah. Not
for no specific reason.
Yeah.
It's just to unleash all the things that's sometimes we hold stuff in subconsciously. We don't even realize
you just gotta let it out.
You just gotta let certain things out, because once you express yourself, you're releasing that pressure that will eventually burst that pipe. So you gotta talk to somebody. You gotta be able to express yourself. You gotta be able to let those feelings and emotions out, because sometimes you might feel a certain way about a loved one or a colleague or things like that you can't actually say and fear that it'll go left. And in fear that it'll go left, you holding everything in, which is building up pressure. And when that pressure builds up to a certain, a certain weight, it's gonna burst. And when it's gonna burst, it's gonna be very unhealthy.
Yeah, it's gonna be a little bit too heavy to carry.
Exactly.
And that's the thing, man. Like what people don't understand, man, is that when you have all this going on in your mind, it creates like this chemical imbalance.
Yes, sir.
And your brain is the computer to your body. Yep. And if that computer is off, it's gonna malfunction. It's everything. Your brain controls everything. So once that is off, it controls your blood pressure, your stress levels, everything. You know what I'm saying?
Everything.
So if you sitting here stressing about this, stressing about that, you got a chemical imbalance going on with your brain, and this next thing you know, you feeling, I got this heart. You know what I'm saying? Something ain't right with my blood pressure. It's because things are just off.
Yeah. You have to control it.
You gotta control it, man.
So it's like mental health. So you gotta treat your mental health, just as you treat your physical health.
Mm-hmm. That's It go hand in hand.
It go hand in hand, because you just said the example.
Yeah.
Because you gonna go to the doctor to make sure that your cholesterol, your blood pressure, your diabetes, anything like that is in check.
What you doing for your brain?
Yeah. You gotta have a certain level of maintenance to make sure that you good.
Yep. And sometimes you can do self maintenance. You know what I'm saying? Like do a lot of reading. You know what I'm saying? And studying and researching. If you're afraid to go talk to somebody, or you're ashamed to go talk to somebody, just start off like getting some self-help books, getting some motivational books, something, find out what your passion is. That's number one. Because if you don't find your passion, you're going to be miserable working for doing something that if you hate to get up every day.
Yes, sir.
That's you know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
Even if you got to go work for somebody else, still have a passion, so that when you coming home, you got something that you love to do.
And you working towards.
Yeah, you're working towards. So now when you at work, you're not miserable at work all day because now you excited about getting off.
Exactly.
So I can go home and do what I love to do.
Yeah.
And it makes the day go faster and you ain't stressing. And guess what else? The boss might come at you and say, blah, 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 blah. And guess what? You can let it roll off your back because you ain't even gonna be here that much longer.
Exactly, because you're working on something.
Yeah, like I'm cool. I'll do what you said because I'm over here starting my t-shirt company and this about to take off and I ain't even gonna be working here no more. It's cool. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Like you gotta find your passion. Once you find your passion, man, that relieves a lot of stress.
It relieves a lot of stress, man.
Yeah.
It relieves a lot of stress.
It take you away, and if you had a drive to get it done, then the sky's the limit. You know what I mean?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, for real.
So with that being said, man, we're going to wrap up.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's darkness. We spoke a lot about darkness.
Mm-hmm.
We spoke a lot about mental health
Mm-hmm.
and actually making sure that you have some type of maintenance as it relates to mental health.
Mm-hmm.
So it's darkness. Is there light at the end of the tunnel? What do you say?
Oh, it's definitely light at the end of the tunnel, but don't forget that it's more than one tunnel.
Facts.
It's more than one tunnel. It's definitely light at the end of the tunnel. Ain't no if ands. There cannot be darkness without light. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Lightness, it can't be light without darkness. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
So it gotta be light.
It's just how it goes, man.
Yeah.
You know?
Everything got a positive and a negative. You know what I'm saying? The pros and the cons. You know what I'm saying?
Pros and cons. That's just life. The ups and downs of life.
Yeah.
It's just the ups and downs of life.
It's inevitable.
It's gonna happen.
It's inevitable. If you walking through darkness, you're gonna come to the light.
It's gonna happen.
If you walking through the light, you're gonna come to the darkness.
Exactly. It's just gonna happen.
It's gonna happen.
Manage your expectations. Understand that darkness is inevitable. It will happen.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Lil, my brother.
Yep.
I appreciate you.
Already.
Yes, sir.
Already, dog. We done walked through this darkness and we done walked through the light together.
And we here.
And we here.
We here. And we ain't
You know what
going
I mean?
nowhere.
We ain't going nowhere.
Yes,
Because
sir.
we understand.
We understand. That's it. Adversity University. Knowledge is power, but shared knowledge is more powerful. And perseverance is the key to overcoming all adversity. So never give up. No matter what life throws at you, focus on the solution and let success be your goal.
When perseverance meet adversity, then success is right around the corner. You just gotta be willing to keep going. This is Adversity University. What's your plan? You gonna keep your feet planted or you gonna keep your feet moving? And success is the next step. Now what you gonna do? Adversity University.